So this is an interesting dimension. If there was ever a dimension that divided people across the land, it is openness. Openness, if you are an ENFP, that's where the N comes from. N, which is intuitive, versus being an S, which is a sensor. So as an ENFP, you are very likely to score high on openness. So what is openness? Well, openness is essentially how much you gravitate towards ideas over hands-on things. So people who score high on openness tend to be very interested in philosophy, in abstract thinking, in possibilities, in creating new ideas. Often reading nonfiction. They love to learn new things. They love to develop different talents. They have trouble with repetition. I don't know anyone like that. And there's also a component around art and the appreciation of beauty. So the actual name for this category is openness to experience, and it can be broken down into two areas which are actually quite different. One is intellect, which is not actually IQ, although there may be some kind of correlation there. The intellect aspect is all about ideas. It might involve wanting to learn new things, take on difficult problems, reading and discussing nonfiction books, things like this. Whereas the openness, which is the other category, which I know is confusing because you have openness to experience and openness, whatever, is more about the appreciation of beauty, whether it's paintings or architecture or something else. In the bonus videos that I'll mention somewhere here, I'll reveal my full results, but I'm not as high in one of these as I am the other. There's quite a difference actually, and you might find that yourself. So you might be someone who's kind of moderate to high on openness to experience, but you're really into beauty, you are very artistic, and you're not as much into intellect, or vice versa. So as an ENFP, unless you've screwed up on one of the tests, or the tests have screwed up, because the online tests for MBTI are not the most accurate things, let's be honest with ourselves here, is that you are going to be moderate or high on openness to experience on this whole scale. So what does that mean? It means a few things. Number one, don't get into a really boring, repetitive job. You are not going to enjoy things that require repeating the same task over and over again. You need to do something that gives you new challenges, new learning experiences, etc. It's one reason I love entrepreneurship. You always get to learn. I haven't been bored in 8 years. You're always learning and doing something new. And if you don't need to, like your business is flowing well, then cool, you can add something to your business. You can start a second company. You can always be growing and pushing yourself. So rather than fighting your desire, like having a boring, repetitive job and then going home and like learning new things every week. I learned how to cook this. I learned how to play this instrument, whatever. You can actually be applying that strength in your work. It might be one reason I haven't really learned an extra language or musical instruments or things like that, is all my energy, and I get to do that with my work, with what I do, which is cool. You might have to make a change. You might be in a really boring job right now, and I get it. It's hard to make a change, but you should probably do that. And the other thing is this might help explain some relationships you have. I talked about in the beginning of the video, sensors and intuitives, or people who are very low in openness to experience or high in it, are going to have trouble communicating with one another. We think a little bit differently. And so it doesn't mean you can't still have a positive relationship, especially if it's a member of your family, but use this as a way to learn about them and realize like they're probably not going to want to talk about the things you want to talk about, and that's okay. But you probably want to have people in your life who share this characteristic so that you can discuss the abstract ideas or philosophy or whatever else. Otherwise, you're going to get pretty frustrated. Now, this tends to happen naturally. When I've asked ENFPs in my ENFP Unleashed program, like how many of you spend a lot of time with S-types? And it's like pretty low unless it's because of work. And that's because we naturally do this, right? If you're with someone and you don't communicate well, you tend not to become lifelong friends. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you bond over other things and you respect each other's differences, but it tends to happen fairly naturally. So my big takeaway with this aspect is to make sure, however you earn your money, that you're getting to use this part of your personality. This is a massive strength. Whether you excel on the creative side, artistically, whether on the intellect side, whether on both, if you're not using this in some way, I'm not saying you have to move off to Paris and become a painter or a writer, although I have a friend who did that and is very happy with his decision. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you should be using this ability. This is something that is very valuable and it puts you apart from other people. So you should be using this in what you do one way or the other. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you catch the rest of this series. I also publish new videos each and every week for ENFPs, helping you become the best version of yourself, all while creating an awesome life for you and those you love. So do hit the subscribe button, the bell if you want to be notified for new videos, and I will see you in the next one. At this point, you're probably starting to see the real value of understanding these big 5 traits as they relate to being an ENFP. And the good news is I've just put something together for you on this as well. I'll give you the link to a site in a second where you can sign up not only to be notified when each new video of the series comes out, but when it's concluded, I'll send you a written summary of the entire series, something you can either print out or read in digital form. So it will cover the main highlights of each of the videos in the series, as well as an extra video that I'm only sharing with subscribers where I reveal my Big 5 personality test results, as well as some more insights into the ENFP personality type that I figured out while I was filming the series and just did not have time to put in here. So if you'd like to get all those goodies, you can head to dreamsaroundtheworld.com/ENFP Big 5. There should be a card that pops up right about now and a link below in the description for that as well.